Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today is going to be a review on RWBY. So, once again, we had another week's break off from RWBY. I actually did not watch that short video on RWBY, but either way, I'm glad RWBY is back, and I'm glad we got a full episode this week. So anyways, let's dive right into this episode. We had a lot of setup going on in this episode. I mean, there was a bunch of setup, a bunch of foreshadowing. Once again, I want to talk about the foreshadowing, actually. Once again, you have the principal talk about war, how there was war 80 years ago, one of the biggest wars ever in the past. And so, with all this, foreshadowing of war, this entire volume of RWBY, it's so fucking obvious we're going to have a massive war. Probably not this volume, but next volume. Most likely we're going to leave on a cliffhanger that leads into a war. That's exactly what I'm thinking, because there's just so much going on here in this actual volume. You have build-up, you have different armies being built up with a white thing somewhere off in the distance. And so, pretty much, it's obvious right now, the way Rooster Teeth is setting this up is that a war is coming. Not winter, but a war is coming. So, one thing I do want to say is that dog. The father of Yang and RWBY mails them a fucking dog. Now, at first, when you send a dog through the mail, that's a cruel thing. But RWBY and Yang's father goes one step above animal cruelty. He shoves this poor innocent dog inside a little ass tube that's like that round, and this big ass dog, like as big as my body, okay? He shoves it into this little tube and then melts it. What kind of sick bastard does that to a dog? And let's not even get into the details of that. What was in there in that package with the dog? I was wondering how the dog was even able to survive that entire decompressing of its body. For instance, when you saw Yang and RWBY just dumping out the contents, you just see dog food dump everywhere, and those cans were fucking all over the place. I was like, how the fuck did that dog survive inside that melting container? So anyways, I don't know if this dog is special, but it has to be to survive that. I don't know if that was meant for terms of comedy by Rooster Teeth, or if that actually means something later on down the road with the plot. Either way, the dog is definitely going to be used as some form of plot device or something in the future. Because with this episode, you see RWBY think of a great idea of taking the dog with them, and you see her put the dog in the backpack, her backpack in this episode. So, the dog is definitely going to have a major important role in the future. The big question is that dog strong? For it to be, I'm guessing, sent by Yang and RWBY's father, it must be strong. Now, why is it that I'm getting Koro-type vibes from this dog? If you know what I'm talking about, if you watch a Kami Ga Kill, I'm getting demonic dog-type vibes from this dog. I don't know, but I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just saying. So, oh yes, speaking of the dog, Blake gets scared of the dog. Right there, I just did not expect that. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it, but it's very funny the way Rooster Teeth portrayed that in the background. They really didn't show much attention to it, but if you paid attention to the background, you'll see Blake get on top of the bunk bed, and she hides from the dog as the dog tries to mess with her and all that, and you see her act like a freaking cat on top of a bed, like, looking at the freaking dog. So, it's funny as hell getting to see how Rooster Teeth was able to slide in comedy like that, along with keeping progression with this episode. Now, going to the part of the progression of this episode, I want to talk about a new character introduction. We meet our first huntsman, one of our first huntsmen to be introduced, and most likely is going to play a vital role into the rest of this volume, gets introduced at the end of this episode. Now, I have watched a lot of anime, and I want to say this right now. I don't know if Rooster Teeth is going to follow the same pace as an anime or not, because they do different things, but if they do follow a standard anime type formula, I'm going to say that dude, that comedy-looking guy, the huntsman at the end of this episode that looked like a fucking joke, that you can laugh at him, looks can be deceiving. Because I've seen a lot of characters that look like a fucking joke at their introductions turn out to be badasses later on. So, until I see this dude in combat, I'm not going to judge him, I'm not going to say he's weak until I actually see him in a life-or-death situation. That's what I'm going to say right now. That dude is probably very strong, it's just the first appearances can be deceiving. That's exactly what I want to say. So overall, the episode was very good. It was a really good episode. You had, RWBY's gang and team trying to convince the principal and everybody to go to the south and try to destroy the White Fang and go investigate over there where what the White Fang is currently doing. So, like I said, good episode. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below how you felt about this RWBY episode this week, and are you excited for next week for the next episode? Let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.